Rates just dropped, but you're locked in and you're buying a house. You're in a contract. What do? Do you get the lower interest rate or are you stuck with your interest rate? Okay, so here you are buying a house and you're working with a lender. Now you've been talking about a specific interest rate, and typically that lender is going to want to lock you in for the length of your escrow period. So if you're in escrow for 30 days, you get locked in for 30 days. Now the reason why the lender does this is to protect you if interest rates go higher. But in this situation, since interest rates can fluctuate every single day, and you can see rates go lower based upon news or anything like that, what do you do in that case? Don't worry, you got options. Now, if you are working with a certain lender, you are going to want to certainly check with them and make sure that you understand what their policies are, but I'm going to just give you a couple of different items that you can walk through with your lender or if you're locked in. First one, it's your float down option. Now, it's just like what it says. Now, if interest rates go lower and you were locked into a specific interest rate, you can unlock that loan and float it lower. So let's say you were locked in at 7% today, rates go down to 6.5%, you can float that interest rate lower. Now, certain lenders will have a very loose float down policy. Some will have a very stringent float down policy, and typically you can break that lock, float it down for a cost. And number two is called the cancel and relock. Now, you are certainly going to want to check with your lender on this one, absolutely, because every lender can potentially be completely different. Now, when you cancel and relock, you are leaving yourself susceptible to market fluctuations, meaning that if you break your lock and rates go way higher, you are going to be priced out, and that can really affect your qualification, and it could be really bad news. Now, when you check with your lender, some lenders have a policy that you have to take the worst case pricing. Some other lenders will absolutely allow you to break that lock and maybe relock it with a different investor. So there are different ways that you can use a relock policy. Number three, you can certainly look at a refinance down the road. Now, this has been a really good option, and quite honestly, the clients that I worked with in fourth quarter of last year and first quarter of 2025 are actually typically in the middle of a refinance right this very second, depending on their scenario. Now, this can be a really, really good strategy, and you'll want to talk to your lender. Now, let's just say that interest rates, you sign up today and rates are at 7%, and they go down to 6.25% in the next 3 or 4 months. Now, again, you had that higher interest rate, but maybe you've only made 3 or 4 payments, so it's not a huge number of interest that you've paid, and you can take advantage of that lower interest rate. Now, I do want to make sure that you understand this. You are going to have to requalify. Typically, you're going to have to get a new appraisal, and you'll have to get the documentation that you supplied before, and you may have to supply that again to your lender. Now, every lender will have a different policy around this, and you also want to be careful what's called a EPO. So the acronym stands for early payoff. Some lenders have some really strict policies about a time frame that you're actually able to refinance. You want to check your loan docs and make sure that you have no prepayment penalty, because that will also be certainly helpful when you want to refinance. To sum it all up, let's go through the things that we just went over. Now, we have the float down option, that's number one. You have number two, which is going to be your cancel and relock. And you've got number three, which would be your refinance down the road. Now, remember, every single lender is going to have a different policy. So whomever you are working with, you are going to want to make sure that you ask these questions about their renegotiation policy, about their float down policy, about their relock policy, and certainly their refinance later policy and the EPOs that we talked about. Now, remember, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I have a lot of passion around this, and helping people is truly what I've been born to do. And if you have any questions, please reach out. I would always love to help. And again, I will always give you my expertise. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.